Hello, everybody, and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm John, your executive producer here, and thanks for tuning in to watch or listen to whatever it is you're about to watch or listen to. In these trying times, we really do appreciate everyone that feels that we are worth their time, and we hope that we're able to give you something entertaining to while away the time as you spend it. We particularly want to thank those of you that feel like we're worth financially contributing to, particularly our $25 and up supporters on Patreon, who are Antitonic, Drevian Alexander, Cat Waterflame, Rowan Parker, and Samantha Bates. Yes, I read that off of a list. Thank you very much for supporting us. I know that in these uncertain times, finances are tough for everybody, so that you're willing to donate to us means a lot to all of us here, and we thank you. That being said, please sit back, relax, and enjoy. And so now I fixed it. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Gran, Terra, Shadowfront. Let me back off the mic a little bit in OPS's eyes, because that was loud. I'm John. I'm your game master for the evening, and I'm joined today by William.
Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Valdeth Stonebeard, the Dwarven Samurai.
And Jeremy.
I am Jeremy. I am playing Ariel, ASMR Gunslinger.
I should probably update your titles so it says Dwarven Samurai and ASMR Gunslinger rather than Fighter and Fighter.
That would be good.
I'm also joined by Mara.
It is what it is.
Hi, I'm Mara, and I'm playing Titania Valkorian, Eladrin Druid Princess.
And Aaron.
I am Aaron. I am playing Carolina, who is a barbarian of being angry at magic. Human.
Being angry at magic humans. And Jack?
Hi everybody, I'm Jack. I'm playing Gentmanar, the half-elf spellslinger, and my sex ed animal persona would be... No, I'm just gonna let you guys fill that in.
A badger. Cody?
Okay.
Cody, I'm playing Ithram Volar, the Hobgoblin War Wizard, so apparently safe from Carolina because he's not human.
There you go. And Nikki.
Apparently, badgers do give a fuck. Hi, I'm Nikki, and I'm playing Scuzz. I know y'all missed me. I'm glad to be back. We're ready for the goblin shenanigans. Let's go. Also, Black Lives Matter.
They do.
They do.
And when last we left off, Carolina had said something to Gent, and I don't remember what it was, but there was an exchange.
Talk, and we're also surrounded by puppies right now because
Yes.
there was a puppy conjuration.
Yes, Titania summoned a bunch of puppies who are currently swarming around. There is a puppy swarm in the base.
Trying real hard not to just use all my ammo up. Go full John Wick bad guy on this thing.
Also, in the midst of all of the puppies are suddenly startled as the sound of mail arriving is heard as well. So there's a lot of things happening at once right now. We're going to start with Carolina and Gent, though.
We need to talk. We can do it now, in here, or we can do it later in private.
Now in here is fine. I shouldn't have shot you. I'm sorry.
No, you really shouldn't have. I am perfectly fine being part of a mercenary company, which is a group of people who work together to earn money by doing mercenary things. They have a lot of structures. This one is nominally co-equal-ish. We have people who are experts in different things and people who are members of different social castes. But I don't have the fine control necessary to just, deal with it when an ally shoots me or otherwise attacks me. So beyond an apology, I'm definitely going to need a commitment on that front.
Very well. I can certainly say that, barring a drastic need for actual self-defense for, violence reasons, I'm not going to draw down on you again.
Insight check.
Roll an insight check. Gent, would you like to roll either a persuasion or a deception?
He will roll a persuasion.
You believe him.
Okay.
By which I mean, if we're fighting a sorcerer who manages to control your mind and sends you at me with an axe, sure. But yes.
Okay.
Why you gotta call out sorcerers like that, man? Wizards do that shit too.
We don't have a sorcerer on the team.
Yeah, it's harder for someone to get personally offended when it's not their kind of spellcaster.
I am a sorcerer.
You're the omnipotent voice of the universe.
Yes.
You're all of the things.
It's true.
John is every sorcerer.
I am every sorcerer.
Literally,
Currently,
because
yeah.
we don't have one as a piece.
Right? Yeah, I was gonna say currently, yeah, he is.
I would get mad at you about getting banned, but it was a library, so about the potential for getting banned, but it was library, so I don't care.
All right.
Any questions for me? Great. No. Cool. Moving on. And yes, that pause that I gave in as a player was the length of time Carolina paused. I wanted.
Yeah, I'm absolutely certain that was. Yep.
So, the sound of
Do you need a puppy? And because Gent's got like 3 right now and sort of just holds one out.
You realize they're not puppies. They're fey spirits. Hands it back.
Of course.
I'm going to go see how they get
Puppies.
along with the goblin dog.
All right.
There is the sound of something colliding outside, which is the indicator that mail has arrived. If none of you...
And we'll go investigate that.
If none of you go get it, Duran will, but...
Scuzz will do it because he hasn't done anything in a long time. Oh, sorry, I just was in a fugue state. I'm still sad about the puppy.
Here, have a puppy. I'll hand you one.
He just grabs it and
There.
then like puts it in
It's
his
adorable.
poncho, like a baby Bjorn,
Mhm.
and walks to get the mail. As is his like how big are these puppies? It's actually a very
They're
important
like
question.
They're like baby Labradors. So puppies.
Don't you know what? I'm not even gonna say anything. You watch this Gus puts the puppy in his mouth, not the whole way in his mouth, but just like partially in his mouth, so that like the like the front feet dangle, and and he's just kind of like, and he goes outside to get the mail.
It's not for eating.
He's not eating it.
Wait.
Just,
Are you telling me that Scuzz just went Baby Yoda but with a puppy?
didn't eat it, just like but like shoved
Okay,
like
right.
2/3 of the puppy into his mouth.
Or he's
to
just
carry.
hanging out of Guzz's
Right.
mouth.
Yeah.
Looking confused, but not looking like it's being harmed.
No, not at all. Very gentle mouth.
It's
hole.
the way a dog picks up its child. Yes.
Well, except that a
Or-
dog will pick up by the scruff, not by the
Not
entire
necessarily
back
forcibly, yeah,
quarters.
but-
That's the thing, is like that's not how animals do it. Goblin dogs are weird. Sometimes you gotta hold the baby in your entire mouth to move it around.
So,
Don't ask questions.
Scuzz, Gent, and a confused Fey dog go outside to the mailbox. There is a scroll inside.
Is it
What does the
addressed
scroll
to anybody?
say?
I mean, yeah, it's addressed to the Steelhearts. It's
Oh, okay.
pick
Let's
it
have
up,
a look, shall we?
open it up.
Yep.
Report at dawn. Report at dawn to the Aetherstone in. Hang on a second. report at dawn to the Aether Stone at the section 3 port. You will be working alongside the Kneecappers and the Wild Pride, and it's like got the military insignia, it's stationary kind of thing.
Right. Official dispatch.
Yeah.
Sort of. What does Gent know about the Aether Stone, the Wild Pride, or the Kneecappers?
Give me a history check.
All of us?
25.
Gent wanted one, but if you would like to make one, you can too.
I
I was
do.
gonna say nobody else has seen the scroll yet, so I don't think anybody else gets to make those.
I don't know anything about these people.
So you don't know anything. You don't know anything about the Wild Pride or the Aether Stone. You do know.
I want to know a lot about the Wild Pride, though.
You do know about the Kneecappers, principally because they were formed by a person that you know from your childhood. She's not she's a member of a noble family, but not your noble family. She was the Van Rossums are a noble family of gnomes that are very, 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 very high spirited and are known for their high spirits. Kenna Van Rossum is the leader of the Kneecappers. That's all you really know about them. And the last time you saw Kenna, you were 10, 12 maybe. And it wasn't like it was like the Van Rossums had basically invaded the Minar Manor for a tea party.
Gotcha.
And I use the term invaded appropriately. So it's one of the very few people outside the Minar family that you ever really, met or spoke with as a child.
Right. Mm-hmm. Given that I was on perma lockdown. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, the only reason you ever met her was because that's how that family do. If they decide they want to have a tea party with you, they are coming into your house and having a tea party, and you can try to stop them, but it's really hard.
They're squirrely and they get everywhere.
As gnomes are wont to do.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the only thing you really know about the groups in general.
Okay. Oh, that's going to be fun. Buckets, we should let everybody else know. And Gent just hands you the scroll.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
Yeah, goes inside and hands to Tanya the scroll, and then pops the puppy out of his mouth, and just kind of like, oh, he's great, he's a good guy. I'm gonna name you Scampus.
He won't last.
I never do.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I'm concerned. I look at the scroll.
You see the information that the others two saw.
Yeah. Can I? I'm gonna make.
Yeah, if you want, you may history check.
Just for fun, I have a +2.
Mhm.
It's my
I believe
best
in you.
intelligence thing ever.
Then again,
Natural
Hey.
20.
you know,
So-
all
I know
about this.
people.
So again, you don't know much about the Wild Pride. You do know that the Wild Pride are uniformly beastkin. Like the leader of the Wild Pride is a Leonin. Is a sort of a large humanoid Black Panther, basically. And also that they have a centaur as also one of their. Actually no. You do know their centaur because their centaur is a druid. Who has?
You know, I'm
who
very
has done
excited
some-
about a Black Panther being in this game. Just my own personal reasons. Hell yeah.
Wakanda forever.
Continue.
You do know that their centaur is Democritus, who is a druid, who is not a druid from Turam, but has worked with the druids of Turam previously.
Okay.
And you know Kenna Van Rossum because again the Van Rossums are a very well-known noble family in the city. And in the Kneecappers, that's pretty much all you really know about the Kneecappers. The Aether Stone, no idea what that is or who that is. It's a ship of some kind.
Okay.
Does
Ooh.
Kenna have a younger sister named Emmy Van Rossum by any chance?
Kenna has 15 younger sisters, and you can't
Okay.
keep track of their names.
So there might be an Emmy Van Rossum, is what you're saying.
I interpret that as canonically there is.
Well, this is gonna be more exciting. We got more information about where we're going and who's coming with. I'll share that with the rest of the group, including what I know of people. So yeah. I mean, another druid. Gnomes. Be good. Yeah. What time is it right now?
You're muted still.
It is mid-afternoon. No.
Okay.
You just had a meeting. It's like just before noon.
Okay. Right.
And
I
you need to be
guess-
at the docks tomorrow at dawn to
Yeah.
leave.
That's plenty of time to get into trouble. So I guess we need to get things ready for long voyage.
Supplies!
Yeah. Are we getting like supplies through the group we're going with, or do we have to bring our own stuff? Or
We're griffins. We generally have to supply ourselves.
right. Okay.
So we're gonna need several days. Weeks.
One must assume that was why we were provided our pay in advance.
Yeah. I spent some of it.
Asterisk, most of it.
I still have like not that much. How much? I have 229 gold. That's plenty.
More than Ithram after he gets done describing this last spell.
Yeah.
Right?
Fair.
Well,
Wizarding is expensive.
Wizarding is expensive.
Why am I broke? You're
Look,
a wizard, Harry.
it's why those college books cost so much.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
wizarding.
Gotta spend those college.
Yep.
Are you transcribing into your tombstone or into a different spell?
Yeah. So from this point on, right now all that's in his tombstone is the Dunamancy spells, because that's all he's been able to afford to transcribe over.
Yeah.
But he's got both of those in there now.
Have
I believe it's way cheaper to copy spells you already know.
Transfer it.
It's half cost. I think,
it's
for spells you already know.
Yeah.
Half cost and time.
Still costs materials to transfer spells from spellbooks, but you already know them, so you don't have to worry as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can sort of make sure food we eat is good, but if we can't find any, then we're kind of out of luck. And I think once we start going into, where this Shadowfront has spread.
Anyone who wants to can make an intelligence check.
Okay.
I'll try that.
Show.
I'll do it.
Why not?
Just
It's not gonna
11.
go well.
Just flat intelligence.
13.
Yeah, just flat intelligence.
Well.
There's my boy.
There's that wizarding knowledge.
Nope.
Paying for these.
That's
scrolls
why I
for
went to
nothing.
college.
Exactly. Did that?
Okay, the D&D Beyond roller is not cooperating again.
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
Same
So, Valdeth, you're still preoccupied with the notion of a griffin company called the Kneecappers. It's like that just seems weird. That's a weird name. Ariel and Ithram, you know that you'll probably have supplies. The ship will probably have supplies for the duration of the voyage. You probably won't need to actually buy any supplies yourself until you're in Eleonora.
they won't have wine for Ariel, so we need to make sure we supply a month's worth of box wine for her.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry, did you say boxed wine?
they won't
That
have.
was Nikki. That was all Nikki.
They
Scott
won't
doesn't
have-
care what you drink.
Yeah, they'll have amenities for you on the ship, but beyond that, you'll need to provide for yourself. But again, you can probably get those things when you're in Illinois rather than trying to transport them across down the channel with everyone else.
Also, yeah, Ariel has a
Carolina
barrel.
intellectually understands the concept of the broader world, but is still not convinced which parts of it are real.
What do you mean there's a place that is solely based on top of the water? That's a place made of glass. Like, what? It makes no sense. You're built around a volcano?
So yeah, that's what Ariel and Ithram know.
Okay.
Everyone else, that never comes to you. You're still thinking about buying supplies.
We can
Okay, fair.
we
fair.
can just
Probably.
wait until we get to Illinois.
Indeed.
Oh,
We should be
that
fine.
makes-
No.
I was more hoping
do
for
need
the
to
learning
stock up on-
experience of spending all of your money on frivolous things and alcohol before, or on practical things. But
Oh,
okay.
don't worry. I will be spending all of my money on alcohol.
Yeah, but I trust you.
Well, there's your first mistake.
I like that Ariel's accent has shifted.
Yeah, don't fucking at me. You want to hear shifting accents? Tune in to fucking Fortune Hunters.
If I want to hear shifting accents, I
Okay,
just tune
so
into
that was your
myself.
Fortune Hunter's accent. Good to know.
No, that was not my Fortune Hunters accent. That sounded like my Fortune Hunters accent.
No, that sounded like
Oh, it
that sounded
was
like
just
your.
where that accent goes when it's having an off day.
I guess.
That sounded like your Call of Cthulhu accent. To me, at least.
Yeah, no, that is actually that's really
That might
fair.
make more sense. Yeah,
That's really
I
fair.
played-
Yeah,
We've definitely done it for something before. But
yeah.
Yeah.
That was definitely what's his fucking name's accent more than Ariel's.
Jahan,
Jahan, thank you.
you're welcome.
It's
These
been
are the
a
weird
while.
things that stick in my brain.
A week feels like a year this
Yeah.
year, so it's been a while.
I'm operating on 3 hours of sleep.
So then I guess just packing. I started digging up the garden. I guess I'll try and figure out. Would y'all mind if I had one of my druid friends take care of the garden while we're gone?
Not at all.
Okay. Can I invite my friend over? Is that fine for dinner, or is that not gonna work? I look at Ariel because things.
Two things. One,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
it depends on who your friend is.
It's Fearbulk. We hang out at the we're schoolmates. We went through druid school together.
Sounds acceptable to me. The only question is, how much do you really hate your friend?
Is Jeremy really quiet to anyone else?
Yes.
Or the dope?
Yeah.
Very quiet.
Sorry.
Thanks. Sorry.
How much do you really hate your friend?
I love her.
Have you
What?
m-
What?
Have you met us?
Yeah, but we won't be here.
You invite to dinner.
Okay.
Are you inviting them to a dinner here with nobody here? Because that's just having
Okay.
them come over and eat our
Right.
food.
No. Okay. It's you all went and had dinner with my family, and it was fine. So
I'm sure it'll be
That was
fine.
not fine.
Scuzz just looks out the window like, I remember those puff pastries.
You still have that plate in your bag.
I do have the plate in my bag. The plate does not produce any more puff pastries,
No,
though.
it doesn't.
we've tried.
We've tried. That's where he's been
Fine.
gone to, just trying to make more puff pastries.
I'll just ask if she wants to come over to help garden. That's fine. That's fine. do we need to do anything else as a group, or I'm gonna go?
I'm saying I'm not opposed. I'm just whatever works is fine.
Okay. I'm gonna head out and go make sure I've got stuff for the trip. See
All
ya.
right. Goodbye. Wait until
Alright.
she leaves. Look
Yeah.
back. Like,
Don't
I'm
forget to get a
fairly-
tent.
I'm fairly certain there was the implication I've done something wrong, and I don't understand what that is.
I think it may have been at the library when you said no more people over the link pearl. Or no new
Okay.
people.
That was a
But-
very
Yes,
that was a very different situation.
it was. But
That was no more people in that room at that time.
yes.
I mean, you also had quite the animated reaction to her idea that she had been inviting a friend for dinner, which is a thing that she'd probably been wanting to do earlier.
I said it was. I'm more
I wasn't
I'm
there for that, so I
legitimately.
really can't even be
Yeah.
speaking to that.
There are
Wait, did I
many
do that
reasons why.
before?
There was a can you cancel it?
Oh, yes, that did happen. That is correct. No, I mean, I just said I was fine with it. I'm just more concerned about the friend than I am us. Whatever.
Aaron, I like the idea that you're implying that Ariel is our Batman, and I'm a huge fan of this.
But yes, I think I'm going to go out as well. We should have some sort of shelters. I'm going to go buy a tent for myself. Would anybody? I'm going to take the wagon. If anybody wants to drop some, I can pick up multiples for all of us.
I mean, I'll just come with you.
Well, I mean, in reference to what had been previously stated, wouldn't it be more likely that we're going to find better tents and that sort of thing once we get to Luxuria?
It's possible, but yes. I also kind of want to stretch my legs. I've been sitting in a room for the
That
past
too,
couple of
though,
hours.
yes.
I'm going to go for a drive.
Oh, I love going for a drive. But yeah, I mean, they'll probably like have all of the stuff that we need for like basic amenities. But you don't know, like places. Sometimes you go there, they might hike up the prices for your basic needs. I don't know what the exchange rate is over there.
More that you're better to find probably desert type supplies in the city that's actually in the desert.
Indeed.
I'm gonna get a sweet tan.
Go from light green to forest green.
Nah, like that. Like, you ever bake a green cookie? Like just
No.
literally just like a brown green. It's not good. It doesn't look good.
I've never
But
baked a
that's what
green
Scott's
cookie.
supposed
No.
to be. So it's just a burnt green.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
It's not pretty. But yeah, Ithram, I'll go with you to collect supplies.
Well, I think now I just go for a drive and out to the edge of the city, walk around a bit, see if I can find some reagents for a couple spells I may need.
Okay, I'll supervise.
All right.
Yeah.
So Ithram and Skuz are going for a ride.
Oh, I don't know. She doesn't know what's happening. He's just happy to help.
Titania has wandered off. What are the rest of you doing before I shift over to a different scene?
Gen's just packing up his personal stuff.
Carolina will go up to her room, come down a few minutes later with no larger visible bag than the one she already had unpacked.
John,
Yes.
would I have a reasonable idea of whether or not materials for the crafting of armor would be more expensive here or in Illinois?
They're gonna be more expensive in Illinois, guaranteed.
Okay. So I would like to acquire the materials the materials necessary to craft a suit of plate mail.
Okay. Yeah, you can buy that. You have the gold. You can buy the materials for that.
Yeah. How much gold will that end up running?
Half cost. So it costs half the materials of half the selling price or the buying price to build a thing. Is anyone going out of curiosity? Is anyone going to ask Carolina about how she disappeared?
Yeah, no one has asked any questions.
I'm just reminding the players because they might have forgotten the fact that Carolina just gripped a thing and vanished.
There was definitely we need to talk with Carolina and ask all these questions.
But yeah, probably not in front of the entire group, because group conversations tend to result in violence as of late.
Weird.
But, huh?
I said weird that.
Yeah, right. But yeah, no. At some point, Ariel will approach, whether it's now or.
We'll say you can find a moment where it's just two of you.
Okay.
At some point, it probably becomes obvious to most of you. Carolina now has a bag of holding. I don't know how better to insert that, but yeah. Anyways,
literally all of the money I just got paid. Well, most of it anyway. 750 gold.
Darling, question.
Yep.
I'm not. Don't take this as me trying to snoop or anything of what would frankly be a rather paranoid bent. But I did notice that everybody noticed, but I in particular noticed that you managed to gain the ability to teleport away.
Mm-hmm.
Is that new? Or is that something that just hasn't been mentioned up to now?
New.
Okay.
Newer.
Newer. Wonderful.
Ish. I didn't know for sure until I actually tested it.
But you had an idea.
I had a notion confirmed by an expert.
That sounds purposefully vague, and I'm honestly, fuck it, I'm okay with it. I'm simply thinking in terms of from a tactical standpoint.
Not to rely on.
I was going to say how is it something? Then it's something that you probably cannot use regularly.
No, and it only works on me. And
well, there's tactical use to that, but okay.
Yeah, it's not a good thing to rely on. It may not always work. It doesn't necessarily teleport me per se, technically.
Technically, what does it do?
That's Mm.
You have to understand.
Planar boundaries in a way that is somewhat dangerous to the stability of the multiverse?
I'm sorry?
Don't worry about it.
Listen, you cannot say something like that and then say don't worry about it.
Like I said, as long as we don't rely on it, it's not relevant because we're not really going to another plane. And using it from the material plane in theory is safe. Return trip functionality questionable.
Okay. There are words in there that are concerning to me. The big one being in theory.
All of this is theoretical.
Can I ask? Well, I can ask, but where does it come from? Look, everybody else has been, I won't say everybody, but most people have been very upfront with where they've gotten their talents, the dark spots in their past, things like that. I don't
Look
think it's
around
too much.
for an Ithram or a Titania or a Ghent.
I mean, I specifically tried to catch you alone, so this
Yeah.
wouldn't be. Yeah.
I mean, Gent is probably audibly, you can tell he's trumping around up in his room, but yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, so I started with the potential risk to the stability of the multiverse because I wanted to underscore that this is not magic we should be messing with or using or deconstructing, especially not those idiots with their traditionalist understanding of magic, and their tendency to poke things.
I certainly don't want to poke things. Shut up.
Yeah, this is why I'm not sure about telling you because you have an angel in your head.
Yeah, it's a thing. She's fine.
God.
Not an angel,
Okay.
I'm a deva. There's differences.
I understand that. It's not the point.
Okay.
Look, my concern.
Look, there are certain kinds of magic that are not technically real magic that exists in this world, and some of that is particularly dangerous. And some of that subset of that is me.
Okay.
You're gonna have to ask more specific questions if you want more specific answers.
Is there some pact or some deal or such thing that is preventing you from offering this information freely?
No, absolutely.
Then offer it fucking freely. I'm not here to play 20 questions. I want to find out if once we get into a situation, if you're using this is going to, what was the words you used? Split open the multiverse?
No, probably not that.
Probably doesn't help.
I have no concrete reason to think that it would split open anything. It's just dangerous to the stability. There's a difference. And this particular magic only works on me, should not be relied on, and it's only a risk if we're transporting from or to specific planes, not including the plane that it teleports me to.
Okay.
Or the material plane. So we're good.
Yes, that is absolutely the phrase that I would use in this situation.
Look, it was kind of a last resort, but I didn't want to blow up of everyone in that room because I didn't think it would help my case, and also I have a bit of a temper. You may have noticed.
All right. If
It's
there is any
just an artifact attuned to me.
Okay, here we go. Is the artifact something that we need to be potentially concerned about? And by we, I mean the people around you on a regular basis.
No, it doesn't present any risk to other people, with the mild exception that it's possible it could be activated from the other end without my consent, but unlikely.
And who would be activating it on the other end?
Hopefully no one. Potentially space pirates.
Right.
Space pirates is the good option, by the way. If it's anyone that's not space pirates, it's a really, really bad situation.
So you're saying that
they could activate it anyways.
But you're saying that it is not impossible that somebody else who is worse than, I'm sorry, space pirates may activate this artifact.
I love this conversation.
Again, only presents a risk to me. Could not teleport any of you.
Is this one of those things that could destabilize the multiverse?
Not if they're activating it from that end. I just need to be careful about which planes of existence I hang out on.
Right. Wonderful.
Again,
lovely.
Those people using it would not. If it's space pirates and they manage to figure out how to use it, good on them, they might break reality. If it's the people who are actually particularly dangerous, they're not going to break reality. They know what they're doing. Well, they've probably broken reality a few times anyways, but they know what they're doing well enough to put it back when they're done.
Right. Of course. I had no cause to be concerned whatsoever. Thank you.
I hope you can appreciate that the reason I'm being vague is one of the entities that is not the primary actors in this that I am concerned about is living in your brain.
Gent is starting to walk downstairs.
She spontaneously manifests explosive flumps, and she's worried about me?
I'm going to say this very loudly with the expectation Gent will hear. Anyways, now you know more about my magic. Do you want me to take off my shirt and show you the root cause of it all?
I'm just going to go this way.
Bye.
I'm going to go find Valdeth, because there's some new information that I think the captain needs to know.
Thank you for actually making Carolina answer questions. I'm sorry it was hard.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, you again, blah, blah.
Just spit all of that back at Valdez.
Well, I imagine that if there was a Gent,
Gent's just walking down and headed into the workshop. Yep.
No, that was to dissuade any eavesdropping.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, no, she'll go find Valdez. So, good news.
Okay.
I spoke with Carolina, and apparently the teleportation comes from an artifact that can potentially destabilize the multiverse, but probably only in relation to her. And apparently there are space pirates on the other side of it. And she crosses planar barriers, and it's conceivable that the space pirates could activate it, but it would only affect her. and but potentially, if they know what they're doing, they could break the multiverse. And it's conceivable that somebody else might be able to activate it if they get a hold of it, but they wouldn't really know what to do. And that apparently is less dangerous than the space pirates doing it. That was the gist of what I got with that conversation.
I like that Ariel
And
didn't make an
that's-
insight check at any point either.
Ariel was too dumbfounded by everything that was being fed into her head to be like, is any of this true?
And that's good news.
Veldeth, you really need to take a course in sarcasm.
That was a rhetorical question. All right, whatever.
So that's what that's about. Apparently, it's not reliable. It can only work. It only works on Carolina, and so it doesn't really have any reliable tactical use, which was my entire point of asking about it. Apparently, all we have to do is ask questions, and then we get far more than we need. I'm gonna go get drunk. Have fun. Walks off.
Valdez just looks at Ariel as she walks off and is just like processing for a second. That's just another thing that we can't do a fucking thing about. All right. One more thing to worry about spontaneously exploding.
Ithram and Scuzz.
Goes back to getting armor pieces.
Yes.
Yes.
So you're heading outside the city,
Yep.
Going for a drive.
going for a ride. Gonna look for reagents.
Yeah, he's just gonna. He has no idea if they grow out there. He's gonna look for wild peppers.
Okay, give me a. Do you have any relevant tool proficiency?
Absolutely not.
All right, then give me just.
Alchemist supplies and thieves tools.
Oh, okay.
That's all I got.
I don't.
You can make an alchemist supply. Scuzz, you can make an alchemist supplies check with your wisdom
So
to find specific reagents like that.
with my okay, so
Would I be using survival or nature?
For Ithram, it would be a survival check.
so that's actually a 17 plus my plus 3 proficiency.
Okay.
13.
So yeah, with Scuzz's help, you can find some of those more natural reagents. Yes.
Wonderful.
As you're out there picking stuff, you see a caravan sort of heading towards town. On it, you see two familiar figures, sort of sitting at the front of it. You see Fanavel, Titania's sister, and sort of leaning back in the seat of the thing next to him, you see Adam. And it seems like the two of them are just chatting as the caravan is heading towards Haram.
How far away are they?
They're a bit in the distance.
Oh.
So they're still coming towards us?
Still definitely
Yeah.
does the like, oh hey!
Let me.
I'm excited. My
Half a mile away.
friends.
Hey! No.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, that far away. You can see them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. After we get that, then you want to catch up and see.
They don't seem to have noticed. So I rolled a 4 on their perception checks.
Fair. I mean, have you gotten all of the peppers that you need?
This should be enough. They still have to dry out, and we should have plenty of time for that on the trip.
Okay. Can Scuzz find like a few more? Are these edible peppers?
Yeah.
He's gonna definitely. I don't know. Well, okay, that's actually a very important question. Are these like regular peppers, like cooking peppers, or are these like ghost peppers where you're meant to like
They're hot
die?
peppers. Yeah, they're supposed to be spicy peppers.
They are
They're
very.
supposed to be hot peppers, but yeah.
For a very specific spell.
Tyrion
Yes.
and Tyrion peppers tend to be particularly spicy. So
A spicy edible again, or spicy like you're gonna die.
very
Right.
high on the Scoville scale.
Okay, so this is gonna pick more than. Gonna make some good food with this.
These
Bring
are
a
the type of
patch
peppers
to
you
my
sign a
mom.
waiver for.
Bring like 5 of these to his mom.
There you go.
That's the kind of
Oh, I kind of
Fun
want to
years.
see everyone's various reactions to spicy food.
right.
I honestly feel like there was someone made a joke about it that the verbal and somatic components for the dragon breath spell is trust me and feed them the pepper.
Oh yeah,
Trust
yeah.
me.
No, that is absolutely how you do it.
It's definitely how an artificer would do it.
I've actually cast this spell on you, Scuzz, when you the acid. That's what this was.
If I
What?
eat one of these,
I-
will it happen
No,
again?
I have to cast this spell. If you eat one, it will just make your mouth burn.
I'm okay with that. These are tasty. I just want to like. This Gus just relays to you like a kind of horrifying but mildly intriguing goblin dish that is like it's like stuffed pepper, but there's more stuffing than pepper. He's like,
Also some lamp
Mom's
oil.
gonna make it. There's some lamp oil in there.
Lamp oil vinaigrette.
It's just Ma Bucket's poppers, but the trick is that they actually explode.
It's gonna be great.
But
they're like combination pepper, like stuffed pepper and hand grenade, like, you know.
If it doesn't pop in your mouth, it'll pop in your tummy, and you don't really know which one you want more. So,
No, yes, you do. You definitely do. One of them causes internal bleeding and the other one doesn't. So yeah.
I feel like both could arguably cause internal bleeding. If the back of your throat is bleeding, that's still internal bleeding.
It's deeply internal.
it's very. Again,
Your-
depends
your
on
mouth being
how
lacerated is different
strong
from
your
stomach
tummy
hurt.
is.
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
anyways, let's go see what they're up to.
Let's see what they're up to. this tangent
I've
is
got
fun,
I've got
you know.
this small sack of peppers. They should last me quite a while.
So you ride up to on sort of like they're further out than you are, so you sort of like ride up at an angle to the back to the road, so that they will overtake you at roughly the same time you hit the road. As you do, Fanivel and Adam sort of see you, and Fanivel goes, "You're the people that were with my sister, right?" And Adam goes, "Scuzz and Ithram, yes."
Adam!
Scuzz!
Scuzz will try to clamber over to Adam, jump cart
There's
to
a
Adam.
make an acrobatics check.
Okie dokie. I rolled a natural one. Wait, no, wait. Scuzz is lucky.
Aha.
16. I'll go ahead and spin one of those.
And a point of luck. So
This is what I use luck for.
you leap and you realize that you leap too short. But there is the sound of something ejecting from flesh as you begin to fall between the carts, and a bone sword catches you just by the back of your collar as Adam pulls you into the cart.
Okay.
Careful there, Scuzz.
I'm usually very, very careful. I don't know what happened. I got real
Became
excited.
a farm boy there for a second. Careful
Yeah, he
there,
did.
boy.
Careful there,
boy.
boy. Get on over here.
He's an interesting guy. And yeah, he's just holding like what looks to be a scimitar, but made from bone and like sinew. As he
I mean,
puts you
Scuzz
down.
has like these like black tendrils that come out and say hi. Like
He tosses the blade over his shoulder, and before it hits the ground, as it gets a certain distance away from it, it just sort of dissolves.
that checks out. Adam, guess what?
What?
I accidentally gave away your plate gift to this really cool guy, and I thought the plate was gonna give me everlasting puff pastries, but it didn't. But now I am left with a plate that doesn't play music or has puff pastries and can
Well,
he pulls out the plate. Like,
Carolina did that.
I know. I want Adam to say that. Like, Carolina.
Yeah, he says that.
I forgot.
It's okay. It happened while we were together, and that's probably what happened with your brain.
My brain does that sometimes. My brain's also connecting people that want. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it happens.
weird.
Brains are weird.
Yeah. Brains are really weird.
What are you guys? So what are you guys doing out here?
Kicking his feet on the cart between Tadia's sister and this guy who can break magic items. He's just kicking his feet. He's just like, oh, me and Itham were picking peppers.
Did you pick a pot of peppers?
We did pick a pot of pickled peppers. They're not pickled yet. Itham will probably pickle them later. But Mama's making popping pickled peppers probably later.
Very good. You should slow down before you bite your tongue.
Won't be the first time. But why are you guys here?
Well,
why are you guys here?
Well, Fanavel determined that I am not a threat to Taram, and I'm not secretly a walking time bomb made of dark magic. So, I am free to go.
Where are you going?
Time bomb made of dark magic.
Free from my voluntary experimentation. I wasn't really ever like captured in the first place. Not that they could. No offense, Fanavel. But I mean, you know.
A little flex, whatever. It's cool.
Fanavel goes, I'm used to it. It's only been a few days, but apparently he does this a lot.
just rough flexes on people. Okay. So where you guys going?
Fanavel is we're taking him back to the Weaveborn district, and then they're going to set him up with a house in the city, and he's free to live his life as a citizen of Taram. He goes, I'm probably going to start one of those, what you call it? Manticore? No.
Briefing companies.
That one. Yeah. Probably just do some work. Something.
That'd be awesome, because we're also in a Griffin company. But if you want to start your own, then we have to be rivals. I'm not. You don't have to actually be rivals. We can just be like,
that's fine.
We could be pen pals.
I'm gonna call it something bone something. I'm not sure yet. Something about bones.
Bone spurs.
Nah.
It's we don't have to roleplay all of this, but Scuzz is definitely just gonna sit there and try to give bone names.
A bone zone.
The bone zone. The bone patrol.
Bone Bros.
The Bone Bros.
The name after a little back and forth, the name he settles on is the Ivory Legion.
That doesn't have bone in the name.
No, but it's kind of bone-esque.
Bone-y. It's kind of bony.
Yeah.
Dark boners.
Oh my god.
And also, but I mean,
So talking to Scuzz made him realize that a name with bone in it would not be taken seriously.
it does make it seem like there's a lot more of me than just one person, but I kind of like the idea of a legion of one.
I mean, a legion of one is don't have to pay a lot for food.
True. Not that I eat much anyways, but
I noticed that too, but I still like food.
Yeah.
I don't need it, but
you still eat it.
I mean, I won't say no to Mom's pickled peppers. So
Well, there you go.
After you get settled up, you absolutely have to come and taste my bucket's food again.
Sure.
So it's just like super friendly. Like
Adam is the exact same way.
best friends forever. Just because they make him a best friend bracelet.
So Ithram, you're riding alongside in your case.
Yeah, if at any so he's just gonna like
this relationship
quietly.
is done. New relationship with Adam.
He's while they're talking, if he'll ask mostly about because he saw the bone sword come out and then dissolve before it was thrown away. He'll just, if Fanavel will show, he'll the gist of it will be like, what the fuck is that about?
Yeah, no, Fanavel will inform you that basically, in addition to his other unique properties, which are the ability, he seems to have the ability to negate the durability of magical objects by inventing weaknesses. She goes through some technical jargon, but sort of the gist that you get is he is able to imagine a weakness in a magical item and thus manifest it, which allows him to break them. And then in addition to that, he has the ability to just generate weapons and armor out of the bones in his body, which seems to be not related to the same thing. It seem to be two separate avenues of magic in him.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, we're hoping that
And
we can potentially
concerning.
generate, sort of take these concepts and make, fashion some sort of new magic out of them. Something that might, be able to be used to disable or destroy magical items. Something like that. But it'll take a lot of work.
Yes.
A lot of research. Might call it a disjunction spell or something.
Something of that magnitude would be very beneficial to get rid of less than beneficial magical items.
Yeah, there's lots of cursed items in the world, or items that were created by demon lords that could definitely be destroyed much easier with a spell like that.
Yes, very much so. Well, yeah, he'll just bullshit the rest of the way.
Yeah.
If they, I don't know if the road is wide enough for them to just
Oh yeah,
drive side by side.
It is.
Okay.
Eventually, you guys get to the stables outside the city where they check in their carriage.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we are heading up to Nosha, so see you guys around. Adam says, doing finger guns at the two of you.
We will be out of the city for some time, but you're welcome to leave a message at our company house. It may be passed along.
Cool. Well, I'm out, and Adam just starts walking away. He seems to be very bad at goodbyes.
Yeah.
I mean, same. Just waving, just bye, 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 bye.
Meanwhile,
I'm so excited to write letters.
Titania.
Yep.
What you doing?
I am heading back up to well, actually I think I'll send a quick letter to Steph and ask if I need some help. We're gonna be away for a little bit, and I wanted to set up maybe something with the garden that you could kind of keep track of while we're gone. Are you around? And where? And I'll send that off, and then begin walking, assuming at some point I will get hit in the face with a letter.
You send off a letter to Steph.
Yep.
And begin walking.
Yep. And I'm headed to the gin and tonic first.
Okay. About halfway there, a letter comes rocketing back at you.
Aha! Look at it.
And basically, Steph says yes. She'd be willing to set up something for you if you'd like. She is around currently. She's just getting out getting food for dinner, and then going to be heading back home. If you want to drop by, she lives in she lives in Mercatus.
Okay.
So.
And I'm assuming I know where her house is because
Yeah.
we've been friends for a while. Okay. I'll send another one off at a convenient letterbox or something. Yeah, sure. I'll be there in a little bit. I'll bring some stuff for food. And I am continuing on my way to the gin and tonic.
You arrive at the gin and tonic eventually.
Okay. Hi.
Hello. Welcome back.
I needed to buy some bottles of some things. I'm going on a trip and I want to make sure I've got some stuff with. So I wanted to get, let's see. So definitely 2 of the star one. And if you've got anything, don't think I won't. Possibly one of what I had the other night, but if you have anything that is like sort of greenish and about, because we're going kind of into a desert, and I'm a little worried that I will forget that everything is green and like how stuff grows. So I was thinking something like that. It's not an element, but like
There is a particular tonic that the dryads of the Feywild brew, which I do happen to be, just so happen to have a bottle of. If that would be something you
Okay.
might be interested in.
yes, absolutely. May I see it?
It's called Memories of Autumn. And they pull a bottle out from beneath the counter, and it is this wooden. It's a wooden bottle with like autumn leaves and vines wrapped around it, and it's corked with like natural cork as opposed to like a manufactured or a processed cork.
Ooh, yes, that looks just like I was thinking. How much would that be?
This one's particularly rare. It's 20 gold for the bottle.
All right, I can swing that. Yeah, I'll spend 20 gold on a bottle
of Fey wine.
Yeah. Exciting. Okay, 20, and then for 2 bottles of the star, was that a gold each? Or
Yeah, it was a gold. A gold.
Was it gold?
I think it was 2 gold each for the
2. So it'd be 24 total.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will buy all of those. All right. That's it for me. Here. Thank you. This was just what I was looking for.
You're welcome. Come back anytime.
Will do. And I'll head out, and Titania needs to get drugs. She needs things. We're going into the middle of nowhere. She's stressed out about this. So far, usually I find stuff at parties. Parties aren't happening yet. It's too early. Or they may still be going, but then you get into the weird. That's not when you want to go and hit a party up. When you're not impaired yet.
You say that as if Titania isn't always impaired.
I'm only hungover right now. It's fine. I've been drinking water. Would I know where to get she's looking for very like mellowing types of things.
Give me
and
an intelligence save.
Yeah, okay. Intelligence save. Here we go. That's a 9.
You don't know any place in particular, but you know Geists probably know where all the good drug dens in the city are.
Okay. Right. Well, I guess I know one Geist. I go and
2
talk
Geists.
to Tony. She's not gonna help with that. No, thank you. I gotta talk to Koenig.
Oh yeah, so you go to the clock tower.
Uh-huh.
You go to the janitor's closet.
Yep.
You pull the string 3 times. The back of the janitor's closet opens. Koenig's there. He seems to be in the middle of toying with something in his prosthetic left arm. It kind of looks like he's doing a coin, like a coin dance with his knuckles. Except every once in a while, the coin will enter a slot into his palm and jet out his elbow, and then he'll catch it again.
Cool.
He seems to be doing that with his prosthetic left arm and writing some paperwork with his right arm.
Hi.
Hey, hello, Titania. How can I do for you today?
Hello. We are headed out for a little while, and I wanted to purchase some substances that may be a little beneficial along the way, and I figured guys might know where to find stuff.
Hey, you're looking for drugs. Well, the cops know where all the drugs dealers hang out. Where to
Look,
get drugs.
she's not smart. It's good.
Am I understanding correctly that in the search for illicit substances, you have come to the office of a person whose principal job is eliminating illicit substances from the streets of the city?
Mm-hmm. It
I
wouldn't
want
be
you
going to the
to-
streets of the city. We're headed off to
I want you to play
Illinois.
that sentence back in your head again,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and over until you understand the implications. I'll wait.
I'm not.
You're gonna be here a while.
After a few run-bys, you suddenly realize you're asking a law enforcement official to provide you with illegal substances.
Okay, sure. No. Cool.
You're fortunate in that your last name is Valkorian, and thus I will take this as a funny haha joke. See, look, I'm laughing. Haha.
Fine. Well, that was all. Bye.
And you leave.
Yep.
Behind
now
you,
she's-
you hear muttering in old Tyrion,
Mm.
which is basically just him going, "Kids these days."
Well,
Bonjour.
now I'm gonna have to find that some other way. So I don't know how much time I have left before it would seem like dinner-ish time, but she's gonna look for things.
Give me an
It's not a good idea.
Give me an investigation check.
Okay.
You mean to tell me that I'm gonna have to go and look for my own drugs?
Look, usually you just show up and people hand them to you, and it's great. 17.
Cue the old drug users being like, in my day, you had to go out and hunt. You had to use a pager. You had to actually know who to talk to.
So
I had to walk uphill.
Not one
both ways
person,
to
but
find
the
Yeah,
my
and
mushrooms
have-
are growing.
You didn't have any of this.
And you had to let him come in and smoke part of it.
Yes. You had to have that conversation in the bathroom.
or you went over and played Nintendo 64 or Super Nintendo with them for a little while to make it seem like you were there for legitimate reasons. So you find
Uh-oh.
In other words, we all had very different experiences.
you find a building that is currently on fire.
Okay.
With the Tyrian guard escorting people out of it while a wizard tries to put out the fire.
I turn into do I have something that's
You realize if you get arrested, I get a call.
Yeah.
I get a very disappointed call. I'm
it-
not necessarily responsible for fixing it, but I get a very disappointed call.
I mean, inconveniencing Carolina is part of the allure.
It is, yes.
Potentially, yeah.
I turn into let's see. It doesn't have fire resistant technically. That's very weird. Okay. Sorry,
Yes.
I'm trying to find something that will
Because lizards don't actually have resistance to fire.
not a lizard, giant fire beetle. Anyway,
Giant fire beetles
yeah,
also
those
don't have
really
resistance to
should,
fire.
given that they spew fire.
I know. What is this? I'm gonna
We
turn.
have acid in our stomachs, but we're still not immune to it.
Yeah. I'm gonna turn into a mouse and sneak into the building and start looking for stuff.
Okay. Give me a stealth check with advantage as a mouse.
Okay. Let's see here. Search. I have to find out what a mouse. You know what? There are no mice in D&D Beyond.
Now I'm just
Rat.
There's a rat.
Rat is
Hang on.
your closest equivalent.
Yeah.
There are no
pizza
mice.
rat, except instead of pizza, it's a bag of drugs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like most
There are
of
no
New
mice,
York.
only Zool.
Okay.
Yes.
It's +0 because mice are not apparently very dexterous, much to my chagrin. Oh well.
No,
Stealth.
they're not.
No, but you have advantage because you're a
Oh.
mouse, so.
Okay. Advantage. All right. Stealth. So it's -1 because mine is naturally +1. So 12.
Okay. So you scurry into the building.
Mm-hmm.
Give me an investigation check.
Okay. And so can I make the argument? Because rats do have keen smell, which gives you advantage on perception checks that rely on smell if I'm sniffing stuff out here.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I get advantage, and I'm using my own perception because it's much better than the mice. So that's a 19.
You find amidst the flaming ruin that is this whatever sort of building this is. You don't actually know what was going on in here. You just found a building that was on fire.
Yeah, seemed legit.
You find a small envelope that is filled with this sort of black leafy powder.
Hmm. All right, I will drag that along with me.
You can do that.
For all you know, that's just cyanide.
I don't know what it is. Yeah.
Smells dank, though.
You drag it out of the building.
Yeah. And then kind of go a little way around the corner or something and turn back into me.
You turn back into you around the corner from the burning building that is still attempting to be put out.
Yeah. Tuck that in my pocket.
You have a small envelope of black leafy powder.
Cool. This could have no adverse effects whatsoever. I head up to Mercatus.
All right. You head up to Mercatus. You head up to Steph's house. While you're on the way there, Ithram and Skuz, where are you guys heading? Back to the company house. Right.
Yeah.
So you guys get back to the company house where Valdeth, Ariel, Carolina, and Gent still are, presumably.
Well, I mean, Val has probably been out,
Yeah,
getting armor pieces.
it's not hard to get those materials though, because you just go to the forge district and buy it and bring it back, basically.
Yeah.
So.
Get back. Anybody downstairs? Oh, yes. We actually ran into Vandalville and Adam as well.
Really?
Yes, they were returning to the city. Apparently, their experimentation or their tests have concluded, and she does not deem him a danger.
Yeah.
They're, from what I understand, going to see if they could figure out how to use the same type of magic that he uses to disrupt and destroy magical items and such.
Interesting. So they're treating him something of as a walking Novicus event.
I believe. He also manifested a sword out of his body made of bone and sinew, and then threw it away.
Well, that's fascinating.
I would have picked it up, but it disintegrated before I could.
That's very fascinating.
Yes.
Wonder if he can make anything more complex.
My thoughts as well. But we have peppers now too. And he holds up a bag of
Oh, very
peppers.
good.
Gus also holds his up. He's like, peppers.
Careful with those buckets.
Don't tell me how to live my life. And Scuzz is gonna actually.
You seem to
go.
misapprehend my role in this party.
Actually, these are for Mom.
Oh, that's very kind.
I'm a good son. We're not leaving for a while, right? We have
Dawn tomorrow.
The dawn? Cool. Scuzz is gonna go deliver those peppers to his mom.
You do that.
I do that. That happens.
Unless you want to have a scene. Your mother accepts them gleefully.
If other people have more important things than to watch goblins eat like explosive pepper poppers.
Your mother accepts them gleefully, and Bucket Street is set aflame within a half an hour.
Perfect. As it should be.
It's just you get an external
so
view.
Friday is what you're
You
saying.
have
exactly.
you have an external view of Bucket Street, of like the like end of the street. You see Scuzz run in. You hear, oh my god! You hear that. And then after like 5 minutes, there's just an explosion and fire and cackling goblin noises.
Plot twist. Same, different end of power.
Yeah.
At the other end of the street, we see Titania walking away from a burning house.
I love it. I love it.
Very good.
So good.
Lots of goblin cackling, lots of scurrying
Hey,
away.
Jerry, that rat is making away with our drugs.
Kaboom, kaboom. Yeah. Goblin dogs in the streets. It's a Friday night.
I feel like this happens. I feel like this happens often enough that the Taram's enforcement and fire department is just like, okay, put the fires out. We don't even have time to try and do anything about this.
They actually just wait. There's a
gonna
time
say,
limit.
right.
They'll give it.
It's 3 p.m. on Friday. Everybody get ready. We're headed to Bucket Street.
They treat it like they treat it like a wildfire. They let it burn naturally until
Yeah.
it needs to.
Right, you're
It's
more
the only way you really.
containment
It's
than-
the only way you can really clean Bucket Street. So
Bucket
Weird
Street
explains.
cleans itself once a week with fire.
basically, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so it's like a Dark Souls.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like a Dark Souls.
Once a week, Bucket Street catches fire,
I have
and that's what keeps the
not
smell
that
from
much
getting
brain
too
power
bad.
today.
No, you're great. That was very funny, and I love it. And that's how I'm gonna reference things. I'm like, oh, that was like a Dark Souls.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Okay, cool. Setting things on fire, as a goblin is wont to do. Continue with actual important relevant
So, yeah.
story things.
So that happens.
That happens.
Titania, you get to Steph's house. Steph's house is Mercatus is where the middle class residential districts are. So there's a lot of apartment complexes and also standalone homes. Steph lives in an apartment complex on the top floor. And you sort of from the outside, it looks like a normal sort of room. And then immediately crossing the threshold, it's basically she has grown a jungle in her apartment. Like this, you open the door and there are vines and squirrels and things. There's also a no pets policy in this particular building, but no one has seemed to call her on it. Either she's just too sweet to yell at, or she's buying off the landlord. One of the two.
I don't care either way. Hello.
Hello,
Landlord
welcome.
needs mushrooms too occasionally.
Hello, Titania. Come in.
Yes. We'll come in.
Door closes.
It's lovely as always. I
Thank
see
you, thank you.
you've got that's new. That plant.
There's a baboon washing the dishes that looks over at you, points, and then goes back to washing the dishes.
Hey, look where it's pointing.
It points at you.
Okay. Yeah, me? Okay. Is that a friend? I have to check. We're druids.
That's Reginald. He comes over to help with the dishes every once in a while.
Ah, hi, Reginald. I'll
What?
wave. Anyway, so I wanted to ask, because we're going to be gone for a couple months at the very least, and I've got our garden down in Genties that, I mean, I started to dig it up. I was thinking of maybe trying to grow some new stuff, and don't really have enough time to finish it, so...
I just realized that Ghent, you were named after the lowest level of Taram.
You think?
Man, your family hated you. Anyways, sure, I'd be happy to help out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'll give like the dimensions of it. It's north facing, so
Sure,
nice sun.
Yes. Sure, I can help you grow things. Would you want me to grow anything in particular?
Well, I was thinking, I think I need at some point a source of those mushrooms you grow in the drawers. I wasn't quite sure how feasible that would be. That was what I was going to ask you.
Do you have a body?
No.
Those particular mushrooms grow on corpse dust, so you'd need like a
Okay.
fresh supply.
Oh, okay. I'll add that to the list.
Bandits, watch out.
So Tanya suddenly is like, can we get more bandit hunting jobs? No reason.
I don't know.
The unsub is an Eladrin between the ages of.
Yeah.
No, I can figure.
That's why
Guess I'll
that's why they have to grow them in the morgue.
Okay. All right.
But there are other varieties and varietals I could try.
Yeah, if you want to. I'm not really sure what to. I've been growing a lot of mint. Mostly mint. It's the only thing that seems to keep living there. So that's kind of what I've been doing.
The only thing Tanya knows how to grow.
Yes, and if you know anything about mint, it's the easiest fucking thing to grow. And I killed one once, so like this is bad.
I'm sure I can figure something out. I just have to spend some time with the garden.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, just something, I don't know. I don't know if I want it as tropical as this, but like the guy next door has this rose column thing and I'm kind of jealous.
Okay, I can come up with some idea.
Cool.
Do you have a climate in mind?
I guess what would Titania know about the climate of Morn? And like
Give me a nature
that
check.
from and I don't know if Val and I would have discussed this at all, if that would help.
Give me a nature check. It's just a flat roll.
Yep. Let me change it back to normal.
Wouldn't the climate have been underground in Valdeth's case most of the time?
16. Yeah, but like is it more? Is
So
it colder than
the
here?
shattered lands in general are their climate ranges quite drastically from island to island. Something to do with the event that actually caused them to break apart. Morn is a more temperate island, but like it's weird where you can go in any direction and find islands that are almost year round a particular season. Like there are islands that are always winter. There are islands that are always fall. There are islands that are always spring. Because of the weird magic in that area.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm kind of thinking of something like, I don't know, the you know that pond up in the Druid Circle?
Yes.
With the moss and stuff? kind of like that. I don't know. Don't really have very much room, but like.
I can see what I can do.
Okay, I trust you. It's good.
Certainly. Now,
Yeah.
would you like to try some of food? And
Yes.
she puts down a plate on the table, and it's got there is no meat on this plate whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be made from a variety of different leafy greens and also bits of like sliced and cooked mushroom.
Ooh. All right. Where should I start?
Wherever, dig in. Here's some sauce if you'd like. And there's a little bowl, and a wooden
Oh, yeah,
little wooden
I'll-
bowl with like some dressing on it in it.
Mm-hmm. I'll start eating stuff.
It's very tasty. Like none of it is psychoactive or anything like that. But it is just it's very tasty, vegan meal.
Yum. By the way, I picked up something I found in one of the jobs we were doing, and I was wondering if you knew what it was. I pull out the envelope.
As you lie to your friend who's too kind-hearted to insight
And
check
show
you.
Yes, I do.
She takes a look at it. Ooh, this is not good stuff. You should probably throw this away.
What is it?
I don't know what the name of it is, but it's a refined powder made from the discarded body parts of certain fey creatures. Apparently, if you smoke it, it has effects similar to being in the Feywild, but it's made from dead fey, so there are definitely side effects that have not been yet identified.
Oh, okay. Huh. Good to know. Thanks. I'll put the envelope carefully back in my pocket.
You have now
Okay.
identified dead fey powder.
Lovely. I'll just continue kind of sitting there chatting until it gets a little bit later, and then I'll head back.
All right.
Well, Titania's out, and well, most people, including Veldeth, are out. I'm gonna go raid Titania's drugs trash and see if she has any mild sedatives.
Titania, do you have any drugs left?
I mean, she mostly uses it very quickly, but I think she's got some like weed still. That's pretty
that
much
is
the
sort of
strongest
thing I am looking.
Yeah.
at.
You are able to find it.
Yep.
Cool. I'm going to find and borrow some of that before the time that everyone comes for dinner, so that I can do what I want to do next without breaking the table. Because Carolina uses drugs as a practical aid.
Give me a Constitution saving throw at disadvantage.
Fair enough. Disadvantage. No, the barbarian thing is not a thing. I think that's a totem barbarian thing. 7, because apparently I'm not rolling well today.
You are very relaxed.
Great. That is the plan. That was the goal, so actually not a bad roll.
The drugs are affecting you very well.
Yeah.
Is the end result.
Also, bonus, I eat everything in front of me ever anyways, so munchies are not suspicious.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, there is a smell. It has a definitive smell. But
yeah. I mean, Carolina is not too asked about it. If people were going to bitch about drugs in the house, they could bitch at
Tanya.
The regular drug users.
Is anything else happening before everyone else gets back?
Ithram is just gonna go down to the workshop and file down 25 gold worth of his gold coins into a separate pouch.
So making gold powder.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yep. You do that. 25 gold coins. Oh, this hurts.
Yeah, it's
Put them in the grinder. Grind them up.
hmm
But yeah, everyone gets back home.
Hello. Think I've got most of what I need. Just gotta finish packing, but first dinner. I had some food, but I'm still hungry.
Gent is going to send who's the dwarf who was trying to learn tinkering
Merrick.
and
Merrick.
did badly. Merrick. Gent is going to send Merrick out to buy 50 gold worth of powder and shot, basically.
Yep, he'll do that. As Cathian and Tilra lay down food for everybody on the table. It is a particularly well stocked traditional Tyrian meal, which is to say lots of meat, lots of cheese, lots of bread, and lots of grapes.
Mm.
Okay.
Cool.
Think Greek or Italian, basically.
Mhm.
So,
Over dinner, Gent's going to talk to Ithram about his ideas for enchanting rounds to do cold damage
Yeah.
and see if he's got any ideas about infusions and that sort of thing.
Unfortunately, I do not have very many cold spells, and by very many, I mean I have one.
Give me an Arcana check.
But yes, kinda. 14.
So you could assist in the crafting process, and basically you just expend your ether to charge the bullets with cold ether, with some ice aspected ether, which would you don't necessarily need spells for that. You just need spell slots. So
Yeah.
you could expend some spell slots in the crafting to generate to alter the ether of a bullet to make it do cold damage instead of piercing.
Yeah. Yes, I could definitely help with that.
One spell slot would let you basically do one crafted set. I think we craft bullets in groups of 10.
For pistols, I think it's 20.
Or 20, yeah. So like one spell slot would get 20, but would be able to infuse 20 bullets in that manner. But you would have to be present for the crafting, and you'd have to expend the spell slot, and the crafting would have to be successful.
Yeah. Is this something that you wanted to attempt tonight, or in the future?
I'd like to try it this evening, actually, if you don't mind.
I don't. I have not been using any of my reserves for some time, so I have plenty of energy.
Excellent.
everyone else all packed?
Yes.
Ready to
Yep.
go?
Valdeth will spend what time she can after having food, working in the smith to try and at least get some progress on building a suit of materials.
We'll get to that once everyone's satisfied with whatever's happening at dinner. If anything else happens at dinner.
Yeah. So who's there for dinner?
Everyone.
Yep.
Yeah,
Cool.
everyone.
Except potentially Ariel, who might be in a different room eating and drinking. Because Jeremy's busy.
Totally fair. Well, Ariel already got an opportunity to do this. We can roll it back if Jeremy has something later. Sorry. Anyways, Carolina
It's fine.
will
You're good.
look around the table. So, questions, comments, concerns, preferably now and not while we're on a boat halfway to our next job.
How did you teleport?
That's a good one.
I have a magical ring that makes me invisible. but exposes me to dangers in another plane.
In- Insight check, because I'm pretty sure I haven't seen you wearing rings.
Inside
Yeah,
check.
no, go for the insight check.
If you're making a deception check, it'll be a disadvantage because you are very high.
I am very high, and I also imagine that book exists.
Also, at least one person at the table has been flat out told what you said earlier.
Well, been told a different story. Yes,
Yeah.
that is partly the point. 12.
Okay.
Gent, you believe her.
Believe I do as well.
Ithram, you do too.
I immediately look at her hand looking for the ring.
Valdeth, you already know that's a lie.
Yeah.
Titania, you do not believe.
Oh, cool. She's
You want
playing
to-
along.
You want to try that one again?
Is it not a ring? I don't see it.
Or should I just go
I'm
over the
secretly a
various
monkey from a different world, and sometimes my hair grows gold.
Should I just go over the various list of things that I was informed of by Ariel?
No, I have a magical artifact that only works for me and is not a reliable thing to use, and I didn't even know would work before I used it. And we can largely thank the weird teleportation and fey magic from Titania's family. For the reason I have that now.
It seems like an emergency escape button that doesn't always work.
Emergency escape button implies that you're getting to somewhere safe. So, sure, but not that part.
Mhm.
And what is the source of your magic?
Yes.
You probably a lot of things. I consumed various artifacts and raw magic in unstable form.
Like Adam?
No,
No.
more literally.
Unlikely.
Something of that.
Nothing about Adam's powers resembles what was at issue. Because I rolled for that several times.
Yep.
Look, don't eat raw magic. It'll give you side effects. And Carolina will just casually, as she's eating, take off her top. And sort of unwrap most of the bandage that sort of serves as a sports bra-y Tifa thing. Or that might not be Tifa. I don't remember. That Final Fantasy girl with the...
Yes, that would be Tifa, yes.
Cool.
Yeah, you see there is a large tattoo going down Carolina's
You've
side.
seen most of this before, but like it's very clearly of something when it's all visible.
Arcana check.
I was gonna say,
Sure.
is
Yeah,
that something
yeah,
that
you
you could try to
This
ID?
Now that
is unrelated, but probably served as a conduit and meant I didn't die.
Yeah, you made an Arcana check.
Being completely
25.
Arcana, Valdez is kind of
I'm doing terrible today.
Ithram, so there is a branch of magic that is often considered to not be real magic, but others argue that it has distinct effects of largely by the populace referred to as astrology. And the people who practice it are astrologians, where it is basically they sort of draw power from the planes around the material plane, as opposed to their own ether or anything else. They sort of siphon off the inherent power that is the border, like sort of the borders between planes. astrologians specifically harness these through patterns that are stars or star patterns of various starscapes. They have several sort of continual or consistent names for these, even though the patterns may change through various planes. The one that is on Carolina's side would appear to be the symbol of a theoretical one, even within this already theoretical field of magic, of the Ophiuchus, or the Snake Bearer.
Ophiuchus.
The Ophiuchus or the Snake Bearer.
Tying back up my boobs because, polite dinner table. They will not replace the strip.
Yeah, you've never met an astrologian, Ithram. They are largely laughed at in the field of serious magic. But there are those who consider them to be a legitimate school of magic and one that is probably underestimated more than probably should be.
Yeah. I have never seen anything like that before. I read about it passing once, but
Why were you just really hungry, or was this like a choice?
Titania, why do you eat things you probably shouldn't? You literally did it last night. It's not that hard.
Yes, that was drinking, for one thing. That's different. But
drank a fair amount of raw magic too. Principle remained the same.
I was curious.
Not raw magic, refined.
And it looked interesting. Is that what you did?
I believe
I was getting more at the fundamental issue of issues with authority and impudent rebellion against a reality that doesn't quite conform to what you would prefer it to be. But yeah, sure, I was curious and it looked interesting.
Oh, okay. Okay. Right. Can I tell that Carolina's high?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's not being hidden right now.
I was just, I don't know.
You've also seen the effects often enough that you can instantly identify it.
Yeah. I was just curious. Okay. She's not pushing that. Okay. Well, thanks for telling us.
It's not like I had a fucking choice.
No, you did. You could have left. Or quit, or clammed up again, or... Well, you did try to lie.
not very hard, I'll be honest with you.
It's okay. Thanks.
Any other questions?
Now that I finished up with food here, I have got a bit of work to do in the workshop, so I'll be taking that for a while.
Okay. Gent has heard this already, but don't attack me. I'm not gonna fucking put up with it.
Gent's
Work
also the only
together
one
as a
who's actually
mercenary
done
company. I don't appreciate being attacked.
that. Gent's also the only one who's ever actually done that.
Oh, yeah. No. I didn't think it needed saying before someone did it, and now I do think it needs saying because someone did it, even though I assumed it was obvious.
Nope. Thanks for telling us your boundaries. Well, I learned stuff. This was good. I'm gonna go finish packing, and then I'm gonna go finish packing. See y'all in a little bit.
sound in the workshop of Valdeth pulling bars of ore out of the brothel thing.
Hey, go ahead and make me a Smith's Tools with strength. Valdeth.
Smith's Tools.
Oh, by the way, can I borrow Valdeth's sword? I need to give you magic
I'm
sword.
gonna use my last inspiration. 27.
All right. It's going to take most of the night, but you'll be able to finish a suit of plate mail with that.
Sweet. I can sell this chainmail. Have some actual spending cash.
And Carolina asked to borrow your sword.
For what was the reasoning?
So Carolina will. Hey, you want a cool thing? Or do you want me to give someone else a cool thing?
Sure.
I can only do one of the two because I like my bag of holding.
Okay. What do you need?
Do you want a weapon that stabs better and you can't drop, or do you want someone that concentrates on spells to be able to maintain that concentration when they get stabbed?
I mean, theoretically, if I'm doing my job with the right weapon, people trying to concentrate on spells shouldn't be getting stabbed, so I'll take the sword.
Cool. I'm borrowing your sword. I'm giving it the returning weapon infusion, which I will copy and paste.
Can you apply that to a greatsword? I'm pretty certain it has to be a light weapon.
That is specified nowhere in the text of the actual infusion.
Let me take a look at it.
I will check. I'm going to be very annoyed at least D&D Beyond's formatting if the infusions do not list their restrictions.
Let me check.
Because every similar thing for another class.
No, it should list its restriction.
I can copy and paste the entire text as I see it in D&D Beyond, but like, let me go.
A
It's just a simpler martial weapon.
property.
Yeah, with the throne property. Valdeth's greatsword does not have the throne property.
Cool. That isn't said in the. This is
to
what
be
it
fair,
says in the infusion.
D&D Beyond, there's one thing that they're doing very poorly right now. They still don't have all of their issues regarding the Eberron book resolved. Like all of the new mechanics and stuff that they introduced. And it's been,
fair.
Months now?
That's fair. I feel like in this case, it's a very simple. Make sure all of the lines of text from the infusion are there.
Is it not showing on your character sheet, or because I'm looking at the artificer page and it says it on the artificer page?
So, yeah, I'm using a D&D Beyond character sheet.
Yeah,
I can see my known infusions in a list, and then I can click on each of them to see them as a full page. It does not at any point in that page. I don't remember how to screenshot on a PC.
No, that's fine. Don't worry about it. But yeah, so the restriction is on the it is on the artificer's like on the artificer class page.
No, I'm sure it's in the class description, but not in the part where you select it while leveling up.
Yes.
Or in the part where it shows you while you're actively using the character, both of which are places it should be.
Yes, I agree.
So you just get a +1 weapon of whatever the equivalent infusion was, because I was like, oh hey, this one seems more versatile.
So that'd be the enhanced weapon infusion then.
Yeah. You get an extra stabby sword.
All right. My great sword is now +1.
And it's probably never going to reach 10th level, so don't worry about that second part.
But yes.
Yeah.
I will try and sell the chainmail.
You can sell it for half price. All right. Anything else anybody's doing before you all go to bed?
Yep.
What are you doing?
Gen's gonna.
Don't just say yes. Say what it is.
Yep. I didn't know if anyone else was gonna say yes. so I was waiting. Titania's gonna go out in the garden and cast decompose on the powder, and she's gonna spread that around like fertilizer.
So the powder is not a corpse of a creature.
It's not?
No,
Okay.
it is the
It's not
it is the powderized remains of a corpse of a creature, but it is not the
okay.
corpse of a
It
creature.
doesn't
So yeah,
I wouldn't be able to grow stuff from this?
no, the spell wouldn't work on it.
Darn it.
It's been worked.
It's
in
been
a way.
Okay.
it's been processed.
yeah.
It's no longer a
Okay.
corpse.
So she goes out, is very excited, tries to do some things, realizes it's not working. Oh. He's gonna sit out there for a minute and go out on someone else. He's gotta think.
Kent's gonna see if Ithram will come into the workshop and get those. See if we can successfully make those rounds. Cool.
He's free.
Awesome.
Right. So go ahead and make a crafting tinker's tool with dexterity, Gent.
Okay.
And if he's successful, you just expend a spell slot.
Okay.
I'm using my only inspiration for that. Dexterity. Boop. 13.
So you do not quite manage to create a full 20 bullets.
Okay.
But Ithram, you can expend a spell slot to enhance these bullets. You created 10 bullets that instead of doing piercing damage, they do cold damage.
Cool.
Yeah. I'll expend the spell slot.
Awesome.
Specific level?
No, just
Does it
a
have to
spell
be, or
slot.
Just a spell slot?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Slot expended.
And that's the only other thing that Gent had for tonight.
Anyone else? All
So
right.
Tanya's gonna cast Speak with Plants and let all of the plants in the garden know that, hey, I've got someone new coming. Behave.
They promise to behave.
Okay. I feel better about that. She's gonna sit out there a while. And fuck.
I mean, okay, sure.
No.
Like by yourself or
Call back to the beginning. Yeah, she's just gonna sit out there a while. Working on the garden until like well after dark.
Yeah.
And then
Eventually,
come back inside.
you all go to sleep. You get a long rest, you recover, etc., etc., etc. You are woken up before dawn by your dutiful housekeeper.
No, why?
Make sure you wake up well before the sun comes up. Because, Lady Valkorian, you have a date with a boat
I know.
at a dock
It's too
at dawn.
early. Fine, the sun's not even up yet. It's not.
No, because if a ship sets sail at dawn, you want to be there before the sun comes up.
It's still winter.
Is anyone not packed?
Nope.
Nope.
The housekeeping staff, but they're not going. So
Yeah. That was an in-character question, anyways.
well, good luck.
Ariel comes out. hair perfect as normal because I know how much that annoys Tanya. Look, some people get the
I know.
best ASMR trait.
I know, it's good.
Mm.
The back of your head, make sure you strut properly.
Shut up, I know how to do what I'm going to do. Are we ready?
I believe so.
Lovely.
Take care on your journey. I'll make sure the house is still standing when you get back, unless something terrible happens.
Thank you, cousin.
Bye.
Hey, young-
That will happen. I'd expect the entire block not to be standing by the time we got back.
Master Minar, try some of this. He holds out to you a cup of coffee.
Takes an experimental first sip. Ariel,
Yes.
you are now only the second celestial that lives here.
Sorry, what?
Have you tried this stuff? This is excellent.
Oh no.
It's just coffee, Cat.
It's my own particular brew.
Gent, we're leaving before.
Harvested from specific islands in the Shattered Lands.
Compliments to your roaster.
Thank you.
Oh, there was humor. I understand. There was an attempt at it.
Valda ties her hair back into the ponytail because it's normally just loose when she's sleeping, so she ties it back.
If anyone else would like a cup for the road, I've brewed plenty.
Yes. We'll grab some.
Wonderful. That's from
Thank you.
Just a small one.
Yeah, it's very good coffee.
Well, to this, whatever it was called.
The Ether Stone.
Yeah. I'm tired.
I'm sure we'll have bunks on board.
Yeah, you just have to be here. You have to be on the ship before dawn. You don't have to be awake on the ship before dawn.
I'm getting awake. I'm fine. It's just, Anyway. Bye.
Take care. Durin gives you all a surly nod.
Carolina's hair is already braided because at a certain point, if you sleep with your hair loose, you're not going to be able to get up because you're going to be tied down by the knots in your hair.
Valid.
Oh,
Titania heads out, attempting to make herself as awake looking and chipper as Ariel is. It's not working.
you all head out.
Valdeth has grown up in a city that doesn't know the sun, and so has gotten used to just setting her sleep schedule.
You all head out to the docks in Sector 3. These are some of the commercial docks that head out both away out into the ocean and down the channel. The Aetherstone docked there is one of the few ships docked at this time of day. You see it as you approach. It is it seems to be a fairly standard sailing ship. Multiple. It has. Let me see. How many masts does this thing have? I have the stats over here.
Is it a sloop, a brigantine, or a galleon?
Right.
It has 3 masts.
It's a galleon.
Okay.
It is. It's painted black on the sides with large white sails, that are currently furled and not. Yes, furled all the way up. Yes. The thing of interest that you note as you approach is that it seems to be crewed entirely by Warforged. As you see people going around loading cargo, loading provisions, making sure things are repaired. There's a wide variety of these mechanical humanoids. Some that stand out to you. There is one in particular. There's one in particular that seems to be giving the orders. That is this fairly tall, lean warforged with a long blue coat, very decorated out as sort of like with emblems of station and the like. A large, broad-brimmed hat with one side pinned up and a big feather sticking out the back of it. A cutlass on one side of his belt and a pistol on the other. Dark metal parts with bright red eyes that sort of glow as they look around, and a commanding voice barking out orders. There is what is definitely the largest warforged any of you have ever seen, standing about 7 feet tall, and much broader than any of the other members of the crew, just carrying an anchor over his shoulder casually as he also is barking orders at certain members of the crew. But for the most part, it's just those two are the only two that really stand out among the crew at the moment. As you approach, there is a high-pitched noise that begins to get closer as you realize it is a squeal, as there is approaching you at high speeds a gnome. This gnome has brown hair, light blue eyes, wears sort of casual clothes. You would describe them as not robes, not a noble garment, but like a loose fitting shirt that sort of hangs off one shoulder, hair tied up in a pair of buns, loose-fitting slacks with a very large, ponderous tome like closed and tied to her back. As Kenna Van Rossum, oh my god, and attempts to try to tackle Titania.
I am gonna try and stand there, but
there is no way she cannot get enough momentum to topple you over. As she stands at 2 foot nothing, and just boing, plunk, arms around the waist. It's so good to see you.
You too. It's been too long.
It has been. How are you doing?
Pretty good. So we're going on this adventure together.
Yes. Oh, Gent! As she boings off of Titania and attempts to try to tackle Gent.
Who is definitely going to try and dodge.
Make an acrobatics check.
This is what he's not good at. 11.
You try to get out of the way, and in doing so, your face intercepts with her chest as she's like on your face and like sort of latches on.
Pat.
I love your hair. As she slides down.
Thank you, I guess.
It looks so nice. How are you doing?
Better than when we last spoke, actually.
It's been such a long time, and you didn't partake of any of the tea we brought. So, now that you're here, we can have a proper tea party.
Yes!
Titania, don't encourage it. It's okay. All right, and, Kenna, this is the rest of our entourage. Valdeth, Stonebeard.
Pleasure to meet you.
Titania's fiance. Ithram, Ariel, Carolina, and Skulls Buckets of Bucket Street.
It's me. I'm on. Hi.
From a little bit further away, you hear, so the question is, do we let them keep her and sneak onto the boat, or what? And you sort of see from the direction that Kenna had been walking, there is a group of individuals, none of whom are taller than 3 feet. The tallest one, in fact, is a goblin with blue skin. A big, like a sort of black mohawk, wearing a long blue coat and with a cutlass on one hip, what is very clearly a pirate hat, sort of like cocked to one side so that the mohawk is visible, but the hat is also on. An eye patch.
Nice.
What the fuck? I seem to be getting some sort of call. Or somebody is.
Sounds like a Skype call or something.
I was going to say, sounds like Yeah, it does sound
Skype
like
is
Skype.
not running.
Skype is always running.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't.
everywhere. It's
Yeah.
the new AOL. Some
No.
virus scanners actually recognize it as a virus.
That's because it is actively a virus. It pirates your
Hang
anytime
on.
it's running, it pirates your connection to help.
There is no instance of Skype running on my computer. I'm looking at my things right now.
Your computer's possessed.
Do you have a secondary or tertiary device that's
Nope.
nearby?
Nope.
Okay.
What the?
Because Skype makes the same sound on phones.
Yeah, no. You. Also, you'd think it would have stopped by now. Okay, it stopped. I don't know what the fuck that was.
Neither do we.
That was a lich printing.
Oh God!
Where does it go? Where does it go? Where does it go?
Like, there's no instance of Skype running on my computer.
This is eerily similar to how the Lich was discovered.
That was weird.
Do you
Yeah.
do you suddenly have a diagram of a giant skeletal robot on your computer?
I do not have a diagram of a giant skeleton on my computer. Fortunately.
The more you talk about these, the more they're definitely going to be a feature in anything I run.
Oh yeah, no, I love. Oh, liches are great. I kind of want to run one.
I mean, this is the kind of thing that's like how a movie like Unfriended starts.
Yeah.
Just
That's
gonna
not
say,
even, I like that because it's like the cheap bootleg where it's like, that's not even the Zoom call sound. Zoom doesn't have a call sound.
That's
no,
Just
but-
bootleg the like pseudo Skype sound.
but if the ghost who wants revenge on all of us is going to hop in, the ghost might not be able to appropriately approximate the Zoom sound.
What, the
So they
ghost
come
of
up-
our dignity, the ghost of when we used to do our calls over Skype?
Yes, this is somebody who was something horrible happened.
Anyways, I got distracted by my computer
can't
making
even
phantom
remember
noises.
whose character died while we were still
Blue
using Skype because
Mohawk.
we didn't use it
Sorry.
very
Yes.
long.
Yes. So there's a goblin with blue skin, mohawk, eye patch over one eye, a cutlass on one hip, and the weirdest looking pistol you have ever seen on the other. Like, it's very obviously a pistol, but there's no hammer, there's no, like, any sort of loading mechanism. It looks almost like a flare gun, kind of. It's very weird. There is a golden scaled kobold standing off to one side, wearing robes. A dark brown skin, black haired gnome that seems to have a variety of metal crates that they're dragging behind them. Another and two more dark-skinned, dark-haired halflings, slightly taller than the gnomes. One of them wearing what looks like half plate and with a large sword strapped to his back, and the other with a shaved head, broad-brimmed hat, and a bow and a bow and quiver on her back. As they're all sort of like standing there watching Kenna do thing.
Valdeth looks over.
Can
at
I
the group.
join that group?
Do you really think you'd be getting away from her?
I
We're all
mean,
going on the same ship.
no, but we'd be getting away from her for a little bit. Anyways, we're the kneecappers. Nice to meet you. You've already met our leader. Pointing at Kenna. I'm Carrot. This is Rybar, pointing at the male halfling. That's Safia, pointing at the female halfling. That's Kadu. Kadu. How do you pronounce your name? It's spelled wrong. Because his name is. Hang on, I need to remember how to pronounce his name actually. Because like Carrot,
the
I
idea
can't
that
pronounce his
reality
name.
pauses to remember the pronunciation.
The name is Cadogan. The other gnome says, because it's spelled Cadwgan. Cadogan. Yeah, Cadogan, and this is Bazis. The kobold just goes.
I want to be best friends with this kobold.
the group of them gather up the various boxes that Cadogan was dragging behind him and begin carrying them onto the ship.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Tuts. Carrot, this very piratey female goblin just walks right up the ship.
These are my people. What am I doing with you guys? I have to go meet with the kneecappers now. Bye.
So yeah.
When she said her name, did it sound like Carrot the vegetable or Carrot the gradation of gemstone?
Probably
Or
the
Terra, the Dragon Ball Z character.
probably the gradation of gemstone.
Okay.
Love it.
Of course it's spelled like that.
Yeah, no, it's exactly how you spell that name.
Yep.
Hi.
And she was complaining about Cadogan's name being spelled wrong?
Yeah.
That is the most Karen-ass way of spelling carrot I've ever seen in my entire life. For those of you in the chat, it's spelled with a K-H and a Y in the middle.
Khayrat.
You know, yes, because it's just like,
Get the sense that perhaps the alphabet in which this name originated does not map neatly onto the Roman letters that approximate common.
Probably not, no.
yeah.
That is very possible. Or it's possible it could have been somebody that I went to high school with, because nobody had.
But
Everybody had to have their special fucking spelling of their name.
also though,
Okay, that's fair.
you really can't see the big thing that separates Carrot from a Karen though is Carrot has an eye patch, a mohawk, and pirate gear. So. But anyways, the kneecappers are getting their stuff onto the ship when Kenna finally lets go of Gint's face, and oh right, need to get on the ship. Yeah, so that way, and she takes off after her crew.
Yep. Look at the rest
Follow
of the
after.
group.
It's very rare that I am in the majority tall half of the people around me.
People are lots of different sizes.
Several of you suddenly feel like there's a shadow falling over you, even though there's not a lot of light out.
What's that?
You turn around, you look. There's a centaur looking down at the group of you.
So
Hi.
awesome, Lord Valdeth.
Hello. You must be
The rest
one of the
us
other
then are
Griffin
the
groups.
Steel Hearts.
Oh, we're the Wild Pride. The centaur indicates to behind him, as you see, there is a large Black Panther-looking humanoid individual walking up, along with what looks like a human, like a female human with light skin and sort of reddish brown hair, except that where humans normally have fairly blunt fingers, she has wolf-like claws. There is also a bugbear wearing what can only be described as Roman centurion armor. A large walking elephant wearing sort of quilted robes and using a large spiked club as a walking stick, and a satyr with a what are they called? Fuck. What are the Fey dragon things?
Pseudo-dragon.
Pseudo-dragon, yeah. And a satyr with the pseudo-dragon resting on one of his horns.
Ooh.
A pleasure to meet you all. I am Democritos. That is our leader, Darius, along with Iskra, Makarios, Masood, and Timo.
Which one is Timo?
The satyr.
Of course.
Masood is the Loxodon, the elephant person. Makarios is the bugbear. Iskra is the humanoid with wolf claws. And Darius is the leonin.
I'm really disappointed your Rainbow Warlock has not made an appearance here.
Mm.
Just gonna put that out there.
I take it you'll be joining us along with the new capos on this journey?
Indeed.
Yes.
I'm Valdeth. This is Ariel, Titania, Gerolf. As she takes a minute to correct the appropriate name.
You can call me Gent.
All right, fair enough. Ithram,
And he sort of just gestures vaguely towards Kenna.
fair. That won't last. That's Ithram, Skuz, and Carolina.
Pleasure to meet you all. And Darius finally catches up to the centaur, who moves understandably faster than the rest of that group. Well met, and offers a clawed hand out towards Valdeth.
Takes it.
Shakes. There's a lot of power behind that claw, you can tell just in the grip.
Oh, I bet.
Appropriate amount of power coming back.
Nikki, do you need a minute?
I'm fine. I got a fan. I'm great. Don't mind me. It's been a long quarantine, guys.
Darius, for the full description, Darius, black fur all over with white fur around the mouth, a white mane that sort of hangs down to sort of the down just past the shoulders, and you can see wearing not a lot, like sort of almost like half robes, but mostly just fur open, with a large white stripe going down the center of his chest, and then everything else is all black fur. Very well muscled. Demokritos has dark purple skin on his upper half with elf-like ears, white hair, and the horse body of the centaur is entirely covered in white fur. Looking for all color for colorization purposes, looking like a drow centaur. Iskra has light skin, reddish brown hair, wearing very practical looking robes and outfit. Makarios, yellowish brown furry skin, as bugbears typically tend to have. Again, Roman centurion armor. Masood looks like an elephant wearing light blue and purple colors. And Timo is the least colorful satyr you have ever seen. In that he has black horns, black hair. It basically looks like an emo goth satyr as opposed to the normal satyrs. Like black horns, black hair, a black beard, light skin, black and brown outfit that looks kind of like a bard's outfit, but way more dour. The brightest bit of color on his person is the pseudo-dragon, which is a bright reddish pink just sitting on one of his horns.
This is a warlock who doesn't like his patron.
Well, shall we board? And
All right.
the Wild Pride heads up onto the ship as well.
Eventually, despite having got there first, the Steelhearts enter the ship last.
We're busy getting to know people. It's good.
It's the power of the cutscene.
Yeah. As you get up onto board the ship, welcome aboard the ship. My name is Captain Aetherheart. I'm the captain of this vessel. Pleasure to meet you all. The Warforged extends a handshake to each of you.
Takes it.
Yep. Shake.
Your quarters are below. Feel free to situate yourself wherever you find room. Just keep out of the bunks. You'll find our crew doesn't sleep much, but we do have our private quarters for personal belongings. They're clearly marked and defined, so you won't get lost.
Would I recognize that accent as being from one of the Shattered Islands?
Give me a nature check. No. This is not an Islander accent.
Would I be able to place the region ground?
It's one of the various Tyrian accents. There is an Islander accent that is very similar, but it's just different enough that it doesn't place there. If you're looking at, if you have any questions while you're aboard, feel free to come to me. You can also come to our bosun scrapper, he says, pointing at the large warforged, or our first mate Void Soul, as he points up towards the helm, where you see a robed figure with nothing but shadowy smoke and a pair of glowing eyes coming underneath the hood. Some of you will recognize this as a Void Forged, which are entities that very similar to Warforged, but they don't have a physical body. They are aether and sentience attached to clothes, basically. Like, their clothes are their form. Of course, the doctor and the quartermaster are below decks, as is the chef, and the rest of the crew. So, feel free to ask anyone questions if you have, but first, go ahead and find your lodgings.
All right. Valdeth will go and find her lodgings.
Yep.
So, you head below decks. There are a series of cabins along the so there seems to be 3 decks here on this ship. On the second deck, so there's the
main deck.
The main deck where you walked up onto. Just below that, there are a series of cabins at the back of the ship, and then open space for cargo, and then a latrine, a marked latrine, and a marked crew bunk area that are very clearly indicated. There are not enough cabins for each of you to have your own, and you can tell that the other 2 Griffin companies sort of divvied up some of the rooms already. There are 4 rooms left.
Ken's headed to the one that's closest to the aft end of the ship, furthest back as possible.
So yeah, you guys sort of have like if you're looking at it from a top down, you've got the upper right hand corner and 4 rooms along the wall there that are, so one of them being in the corner.
Quarter cabin.
Want to be bunkmates?
Yes. Yes, I do. Do you want to be top or bottom?
Let's see what the bunks actually look like. It's a ship, and I've been told that certain kinds of... This is a reference to a previous game and me getting salty at people about boat bunks.
They're hammocks, and there's sort of like there are about 4 hammocks in each room.
Yeah, pick the one you want. I'll pick another one.
Okie dokie. He picks right because picks
And
the rightest most
You're
one.
the best roommate.
The rightmost hammock is Scuzz's.
I mean,
that is Carolina's perspective.
Yeah, he's the least likely to do anything, and honestly, like, probably won't be in there that often because he only sleeps like a little bit, and then it's just like.
So he doesn't ask uncomfortable questions about my origins.
Nope. He's got other things going on in his head right now. He doesn't need to add to that. This guy's uncomplicated.
Join you in the room, Gint?
Absolutely.
Bunk up with Gint.
Cool. Get my own room.
Valdeth looks at Titania.
As is tradition.
Yeah.
It smirks for a second.
Ariel needs a roommate as well.
I just walked to one of the empty rooms and closed the door.
He's so.
I like to imagine that you just definitely like watched everybody and was like
perfect.
Mine.
I don't. It's driving me nuts.
Do you...
I need a moment.
By process of elimination, we've had our room assigned.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So the 4 rooms, Scuzz and Carolina are in one, Gint and Ithram are in another, Titania and Valdeth are in the third, and Ariel has claimed the 4th all for herself.
I mean, that's just the way it shook out.
As is tradition.
All right.
I was really looking forward to there being some sort of ridiculous contest over who got the single room.
Nobody has hold person, so there wouldn't be a winner.
Ariel,
I still do.
You didn't implement it though.
None of you, save Gent, have hold person.
Also,
Ariel
hold
has no-
person
Take
is a
it.
very aggro hold person.
yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
it is
it
a
super is.
extremely offensive hold person.
Ariel has no patience for your silly games about who gets. She just knows she will end up with it.
As you guys are getting settled in, there's a knocking on the doors. And the steward introduces themselves. It's a bronze and brass colored warforged with sort of purple eyes. Introduces themselves as Sweeper. They're the steward. They take care of the cabin. So if you need anything cleaned or anything, or any assistance with laundry or anything like that, they're happy to help.
If you ever need help getting out of corners, just let us know.
I will be sure to ask.
Okay.
Perfect. I have these. I will hand over some laundry because Titania definitely packed dirty laundry.
The sweeper looks at them, snaps his fingers, casting prestidigitation to clean all of them.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Keep filling into him. That's a useful spell.
Prestidigitation is a fucking phenomenal spell, and if you don't take it, you're a hack.
Yeah.
What kind of D&D are you playing?
So Ithrim is a hack then.
Yes, it turns out.
Yep.
You're a
Specifically
hack.
with battle axes.
Yeah.
The
Hack.
the person whose job it is to keep the ship clean and tidy has prestidigitation because that makes sense.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I could have taken it. I didn't take it. I took Spare the Dying instead.
You're a
I
hack.
mean, you know.
You also hack.
You're not wrong.
Oh, yeah. So the steward introduces themselves. Eventually, you'll also meet the doctor Scalpel, who has, in addition to having a doctor's kit and a variety of things that it sort of carries around, just in one corner of his office is just a longsword that looks like it has spent quite a lot of time in the guts of various creatures. Weirdly threatening doctor.
Right, yep.
And the quartermaster Searchlight, who is dressed like a dandy, with top hat and tails and everything. And then the chef Blowpipe, who is a silver-plated cook on the ship.
Does he have like a stove built into him?
No,
Okay.
but he does have a pipe permanently attached to his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So like his mouth only ever opens halfway.
Right. The Popeyest of Warforges.
Pretty much. Very shortly after you all get settled, anchor is weighed and the ship, the sails are unfurled and the ship takes off.
Wait.
I assume that anchor is weighed by Scrapper just
Oh, yeah.
grabbing a chain in one
Oh,
hand
yeah,
and just
yeah,
walking to the other end of the ship.
No,
Yeah.
if anybody watches Scrapper, there is a capstan and everything, but Scrapper just reaches over, grabs the chain, and just hauls up the anchor.
Right. We'll wrap this up later.
Okay, you've got the slack now. You can start ringing in.
Yeah. After he gets it up on the rail, then they
And they just spin the capstan.
They
with
just spin
like one
the
person
capstan,
goes
yeah.
brrrr.
yeah, basically. And then it goes back to hanging off the side. Void Soul is at the helm. Aetherheart is nearby, keeping an eye on things, and the ship takes off as the sun rises.
Gent just swears under his breath for a minute
What?
and then shrugs and goes back.
What? Too impressive.
I forgot to buy myself a fucking spyglass.
To be fair, those are expensive.
We're on a ship, Valdeth.
Maybe you
Maybe
have to
work
borrow
on
one.
building one.
Actually, I should see if
Just
they have
learn
any
some
lenses.
magic that makes your eyes better.
I think it's for the aesthetic.
Aesthetic.
Oh, in that case,
As the artificer gets to work.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
The artificer
Flex.
gets to work. Now, technically, this is not something I can use my infusions for, but I do have tool proficiencies and presumably some scrap stuff from the various projects that people are working on. Can I make the tube that looks like a spyglass?
Oh yeah.
And has like the toilet paper tube and child effect, and looks like good quality, like cosplay.
Yeah, give me a Tinker's Tools with dexterity.
Cosplay spyglass.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like it a lot.
Yes, that is the.
not only does it work, but you're getting it for only $5.
For the low price of the scrap that's in your pocket, you too can have a spyglass.
Pretty much. That's exactly how artificers do what they do. They're just like, do you want a bag of holding? Hold up. I have rubber band and some pocket lint and 2 pennies.
Yeah. I'm not enchanting this because that's not a spell I can cast, but it is. I'm just gonna roll the number that would be in chat because I don't have the other things that would let me do that. It's what's my proficiency modifier? +3. Cool. So that would make it +4. 20.
Hell yeah.
You very easily whip together a fake spyglass.
And because I do have that, I have the ability to make it play a sound.
My favorite. The best.
Oh. No, Caroline has been holding that pretty close to the chest. I will not have it.
It just plays the Sea of Thieves.
Okay,
Silent
yeah.
sting whenever you look at something.
Oh my god.
I do
Dun, 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 dun,
whisper
dun,
as well, but
So, as Carolina hands over this fake spyglass to you, Gent, you notice something about your
there you go.
pistol.
Aesthetic.
Okay.
The
Is this
enchantment
the
on
one that
the
Darren made for
the
me?
enchantment on your pistol has gone away.
What's up?
Gent hands the toy spyglass to whoever's probably closest, which I'm saying Scuzz. Hold that for me.
Okay.
Inspect the pistol again.
Yeah, the repeating shot infusion seems to have gone away. It is just back to its normal self now. Which means it's lost its +1 bonus as well, by the way.
No.
Yep. Well, no good thing lasts forever. Sticks it back in his holster. I mean, it's still a functional pistol, right? I assume.
Yeah, still a functional pistol.
Yeah. Yep. There we go. So
That
now
would
he
be a
only
really
has his
fun way
one
to
+1
disable
pistol.
everyone's weapons. Infuse, uninfuse. I broke it. Sorry.
And he'll take the spyglass back.
Oh,
Thank you, Scuzz.
you're welcome. So
There's
sad.
a whisper for John in
Yep,
chat.
yep, I see it.
Cool.
Scuzz, you looked through it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Gent, you notice as Scuzz hands you the spyglass that there is just a black ring around Scuzz's eye.
Excellent.
It's so good. Oh my god. And he will not notice.
Everyone give me perception checks.
Okay. It's a 6.
I got a 6.
I got a 4.
I got a rock.
Yeah.
Right?
20.
Nice.
11.
14. Relatively fine.
So,
Terrible.
Valdeth, Scuzz, Carolina. Yeah, Valdeth, Scuzz, and Carolina are the only ones that notice before someone in the crow's nest calls out. You hear something that sounds like screaming, but at a very large distance. And then after a few moments, someone in the crow's nest goes, "Man above!" And you look
Man
up,
above board.
and there seems to be a body falling from the sky and screaming.
I
I
lean
don't have
over.
Featherfall.
Ithram, you're
Oh.
the one who has the.
Nope.
I
Scuzz,
need to get-
propellers out.
Oh, yeah.
Since there's almost certainly no way Scuzz will be able to support a falling person. Honestly, neither will I, but there's a slightly better chance. Ariel looks slightly annoyed. Wings come out and
As she flies away, he'll cast Enlarge Reduce on her.
So
that'll
you have
work.
to activate your propeller hats, guys.
I do. I do have to do that, and this is the
Roll a
D100
D20.
roll, right? Or
Yeah.
1D20 or 1D100?
D100 for the first one,
D100 first.
because you roll the D20 at when you end.
95.
All right,
Hopefully that's not the bad one.
It's fine. So, Ariel, you fly up to try to catch this person.
Mhm.
And for some reason, you miss. You're pretty certain you shouldn't have missed, but you do.
Define mist.
Like, you go up to you go up underneath them and like hold arms out to catch, and as you are about to catch them, they are on the other side of your arms, as if you had just missed.
Okay.
Pshra.
Yeah.
Looking up at this, does it look like they
What the
went
wet
intangible
fuck?
and went through?
It
or...
looked from anybody else's perspective, it just looks like Ariel held their arms out too wide or something. You can't tell why they missed, just that they
Arcana?
missed.
Whoops.
Kenna on deck sees this, snaps her fingers, and her quill starts flying on its own as she casts Featherfall. And the individual doesn't slow down.
Okay, can I? Yeah.
Yeah, you can make an Arcana check.
Oh, this is a curse.
Me too.
22.
You know what? I haven't used it today. I'm using my arcane knowledge thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Ooh.
So I have advantage, and I might learn the truth even if I fail. 8.
Wow. Sorry.
So,
Not you. Roll 20.
Carolina, there are certain effects that can make people like intangible, or like looking like they're physically there but they're not really there, like kind of like an illusion but not really. Alternatively, definitely a ghost. Gent,
Oh.
Gent, something is maintaining a causality or like an effect here.
Mhm.
It's preventing that instance from being changed.
Okay.
This man is going to fall.
I'm
And as you're coming to that realization, they hit the ground, or they hit the deck of the ship,
Mm-hmm.
fall through it,
Yep.
and the screaming stops.
Like through as in phase through, or through as
No,
in break
as
the
in
neck?
break through the deck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So
I'll do it.
that at least they collided with.
Yeah,
Yep. Gent's just gonna be right over to look down the hole.
I'm
you can see.
trying to run.
Yeah, you can see Doc Scalpel also running over to them.
Yeah.
Scuzz grabs onto Ariel like I'm not fast enough to get back on the boat with my propeller hat.
She just sort of smirks and is like, "Come on."
Because I looked it up again and I was like, what's the fly speed and propeller hat? No, I cast
10
levitate.
feet. 10 feet.
Nikki forgot. It's been a minute.
Right,
save
that
him.
boat is sailing away and you're fucked.
This is not the first time Scuzz has remembered the speed in which something has moved while he's in open air.
So, Titania, you get down to the body,
Mhm.
and you see this person is dressed very weirdly. Like they're dressed the style that they are dressed from, doesn't match anything that you're familiar with, like culturally.
Okay.
It's not like the clothing. It's not particularly strange, like looking clothes, but it's definitely not a style you're familiar with.
Okay.
And around their neck, like sort of attached to a chain, is what appears to be a severed monkey's paw, with all fingers curled except for these two. And that's where we're going to end for this week. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.